They call it the bare minimum, a backup gun, the round you carry when you can't carry a real one. But what if everything you've heard about 380 ACP is dead wrong? For decades, gun forums, magazine articles, and outdated gel tests have painted this cartridge as underpowered and unreliable. But the truth is, those myths were built on hollow points that never worked and pressure numbers that mean nothing when it's 2 a.m. and someone's crashing through your front door. Today, 380 is making a comeback not because it's new, but because modern ammo finally lets it do what it was always supposed to: stop the threat fast and clean. In this video, we'll show you the real data, the real stories, and the real guns that prove 380 isn't just viable, it might be the smartest self-defense option you're not carrying yet. This isn't just a caliber update, it's a redemption story. So if you're ready to rethink what belongs in your holster, subscribe to Firepower and let's get started. For years, 380 ACP has lived under a cloud of doubt. Gun shop talk and internet forums labeled it as weak, unreliable, or only for people who can't handle real recoil. But where did that perception actually come from? It started with outdated ballistic gel tests, videos from the VHS era showing 95-grain hollow points, barely making it 9 inches in gel, tumbling, clogging, or failing to expand. Magazines picked up those tests, forums echoed them, and YouTube later doubled down. It became a myth loop, the same footage, the same failures, repeated for decades. On paper, the 380's pressure limit, 21,000 Ti, looks soft next to 9's 35,000 Ti. But pressure alone doesn't stop a threat. Performance on target does. And that's where the 380 was misunderstood. Real-world shootings told a different story. A Beretta 84 ended a hostage standoff with a single controlled shot. A deputy in Florida survived a knife attack with a 380 backup gun that penetrated through layers of clothing and bone to reach the attacker's aorta. But those moments didn't go viral. What stuck was the idea that 380 ACP was a last resort and only acceptable if you couldn't carry a bigger gun. That reputation stuck for years until modern ammo engineering blew it apart. For decades, the 380 ACP's poor reputation wasn't really the fault of the cartridge, it was the ammo. Traditional hollow points were designed for cartridges with higher pressure and longer barrels. But in a compact 380 with a 2.5 barrel, they failed more often than not. Here's why. Conventional hollow points rely on speed and hydraulic pressure to expand. In slow, low-pressure platforms like the Ruger LCP, there simply wasn't enough velocity to make the bullet open up. Add a hoodie or a denim jacket, and the hollow point clogged, turning it into a glorified wad cutter that barely reached vital organs. Shooters started switching to full metal jacket rounds for better penetration, but then risked over-penetration, where the bullet goes through the bad guy and hits what's behind him. It was a trade-off: expand and stop short, or punch through and risk collateral damage. Engineers tried tweaking the cavity design, shortening it, adding silicone plugs, even tapering the petals, but nothing fixed the underlying physics. The 380 simply couldn't push those designs hard enough. That's when the industry pivoted from expansion to fluid transfer. Ammo like the Lehigh Extreme Defense and Underwood's fluted copper bullets rewrote the rules. Instead of trying to bloom like a flower, they carved through tissue like a propeller, sending shockwaves laterally through the wound channel. No expansion needed, no risk of clogging. And they worked especially in short-barreled pistols. In ballistic gel, these rounds tore cavities 2 inches wide in the first 5 inches of travel, then drilled straight to 12-15 inches. That's FBI gold standard penetration, and it came from guns that weigh less than your smartphone. In short, the problem wasn't 380 ACP. It was the old-school bullets trying to make it something it wasn't. Everyone loves to compare numbers, foot-pounds of energy, pressure ratings, muzzle velocity. And on paper, the 9mm wins every time. But real-world defense isn't about paper. It's about control, placement, and speed under pressure. That's where 380 starts punching above its weight. First, control. A Glock 19 or Shield Plus might give you 15 plus 1 rounds of 9mm power, but it also brings more snap, louder report, and heavier recoil. For shooters with small hands, arthritis, or limited upper body strength, that recoil turns into flinching. Misses, hesitation. Now enter the 380. With softer recoil and lower slide velocity, it's easier to keep on target. You're not fighting the gun, you're running it. The result? Faster follow-ups, tighter groups, and fewer flinches. That's a big deal in a hallway, parking lot, or inside a convenience store. Second, concealment. Pistols like the Ruger ACP Max, SIG 238, and Glock 42 are featherweights. You can tuck them into a pocket holster, wear them with gym shorts, or drop them in a purse without a second thought. They're guns you actually carry, not just admire in a safe. Third, training costs. 380 ACP is cheaper to shoot than ever. Bulk practice ammo often undercuts 9mm by 5–10 cents per round. That doesn't sound like much until you burn through 500 rounds at a weekend class. You save $40, which is basically another box of premium defensive carry loads. And speaking of defensive loads, modern fluted 380 ammo now matches or exceeds many 9 hollow points in terminal performance. Sure, it might not punch through car doors like a plus P9M, but in the real world, at 3 to 7 yards, hitting fast and hitting right matters more than extra foot-pounds. So let's stop asking if 380 is enough. The better question is, can you shoot it well, shoot it fast, and trust what it's loaded with? If the answer is yes, then 380 doesn't just match 9mm for self-defense. In many cases, it beats it. For decades, 380 ACP had one major flaw. Traditional hollow points didn't work. They clogged. They underpenetrated. They expanded inconsistently, if at all. Shooters either carried FMJ and risked overpenetration, or crossed their fingers with old-school JHPs that looked good in theory, but failed in denim-covered gel blocks. But everything changed. With the arrival of fluid transfer monolithic ammo, a completely different kind of bullet. No hollow cavities to clog, no need for high velocity to perform. Just solid copper slugs carved with radial flutes, engineered to redirect energy outward in a spiral wave of soft tissue destruction. Leading the charge? Lehigh Defense and Underwood ammo. Their TOR 380 ACP loads like the 68-grain Extreme Defender don't deform, don't fragment, and don't veer off course. Fired from a compact SIG 238 or Ruger LCP Max, these slugs reach 12 to 15 inches in ballistic gel, creating wound cavities that rival 9mm, gold dots, and HSTs. Tests show massive fluid displacement in the first 5 inches, nearly 2 inches wide, and consistent. Straight-line penetration through denim, bone simulants, and soft tissue analogs. And they do it from pistols that weigh under 11 ounces and fit in a jacket pocket. Better yet, these rounds stay stable. They don't depend on speed to expand. That means hot weather, cold weather, humidity, or short barrels don't affect performance like they do with traditional JHPs. And they're not alone. Black Hills Honey Badger, Fort Scott Toohey, and others have joined the fluted revolution. Each brings slightly different spin rates, case pressures, and metallurgy, but all solve the same problem, making DOT 380 a serious defensive round. With this ammo, the old criticisms melt away. No more mouse gun stigma. No more wondering if your pistol will punch deep enough. Modern DOT 380 ammo delivers exactly what defensive shooters need: depth, consistency, and low recoil, all in a small, manageable package. Now that 380 ACP has finally caught up with modern ammo technology, the question isn't, is it enough? It's, is it right for you? Let's break down who benefits most from carrying this once underestimated caliber. 1. Everyday carriers in lightweight clothing. If your wardrobe rotates between gym shorts, business slacks, or fitted summer wear, a full-sized pistol just won't cut it. That's where ultra-concealable .380s like the Ruger LCP Max or Glock 42 shine. These pistols practically disappear in a pocket holster, no printing, no sagging belts, no bulky waistbands. Whether you're jogging, commuting, or relaxing on vacation, 380 lets you carry without compromise. 2. Shooters with limited strength or dexterity. If you have arthritis, wrist issues, or are just recoil sensitive, a 9mm plus P snappy subcompact might do more harm than good. 380 offers low recoil and high control, especially in pistols like the SIG 238 or S&WEZ 380. That means faster follow-up shots, fewer flinches, and more confidence on the range and in real life. 3. New shooters and first-time defenders, confidence is everything. If you're just getting into defensive carry, 380's soft recoil and manageable size make it an ideal starting point. You're more likely to practice regularly, build muscle memory, and actually carry daily because your gear isn't a burden. 4. Backup gun carriers. Many law enforcement officers and armed civilians carry a secondary weapon. A slim 380 like the Car CW 380 or Kel-Tec Pre-3T fits snugly in an ankle holster or vest pocket without adding weight or bulk. And with modern ammo, these aren't just backups, they're lifesavers in a last resort moment. 5. Discreet home defense setups. Even in the home, not everyone wants a full-frame pistol on the nightstand. Some stash a 380 in a bedside safe, hidden drawer, or Airbnb lockbox. With today's fluted ammo, it's more than enough to stop a threat without the over-penetration risk of a Magnum or rifle-caliber round. In short, 380 ACP in 2025 isn't just acceptable for many, it's the smartest, most practical, and most confidence-inspiring choice they can make. For decades, 380 ACP has been stamped with one damning label, the minimum caliber for self-defense. It was the last resort, the if you really can't carry anything else option. But that reputation? It's outdated. Here's why 2025 finally buries that myth. 1. Ballistics have changed the game. Old hollow points gave .380 a bad name, slow expansion, shallow penetration, clogged tips. But today's fluted solid copper projectiles, like the Lehigh Extreme Defense or Underwood Plus P-loads, tear through denim and soft tissue alike, creating massive wound cavities with 12-15 inches of reliable gel penetration. No jacket to clog, no expansion needed, just controlled destruction. 2. Accuracy beats energy. Stopping power doesn't just come from foot-pounds, it comes from where you hit. And lighter recoil equals faster, more accurate follow-ups. Shooters who struggle with muzzle flip in 9mm or 357 find they can consistently place rounds on target with .380. When the real-world average self-defense exchange is 2-3 shots within 7 yards, control beats caliber. 3. Carry comfort equals daily carry. The best gun is the one you actually have on you. If your pistol is too bulky, heavy, or uncomfortable to carry every day, it's not a defensive tool, it's a safe queen. 380 pistols offer true EDC convenience, especially for deep concealment, warm weather clothing, smaller body types, less experienced shooters. 4. Modern builds, modern durability. Today's 380 pistols aren't cheaply made throwaways. We're talking Glock 42, SIG 238, Ruger LCP Max with nitrided slides, dual recoil springs, polygonal barrels. These guns are built to last and run hundreds of rounds reliably with proper maintenance. Even with hotter loads like Underwood Plus P, they're holding up to rigorous testing and winning back trust. So is 380 still the minimum caliber? Not anymore. It's minimum size with maximum potential. You've seen the gel tests. You've heard the real-world stories. You've watched the fluted copper rounds carve out performance numbers nobody thought 380 could deliver. So now the question isn't, is 380 enough? It's, are you underestimating the one caliber that actually fits your life? If your goal is daily carry, low recoil, rapid follow-up shots, and a pistol that disappears in shorts, slacks, or even a running holster, then 380 might just be your best bet. Because, let's face it, the perfect gun isn't the biggest. It's the one that's always with you and that you can actually shoot well. Let us know in the comments, are you giving TAUT 380 a second look? Already trust it? Or still on the fence? Either way, stay sharp, stay informed, and stay safe. Hit that like if today's video changed your perspective. Subscribe to Firepower and tap the bell so you never miss the next myth-busting breakdown. Because here, it's not about caliber debates, it's about real-world performance.